And I'm fascinated about this. Um,
I think I know what you're gonna say, maybe, but go ahead.
okay. So you were in a cult.
I knew you were gonna say
Yeah,
that.
I did not. What was the preaching of the cult, I guess?
Talked about this on Mandy and Weezy's podcast. Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
are you okay? Shout out Mandy and Weezy.
Yeah.
Are you okay talking about this?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm fascinated by cults. How you get into it.
Yeah.
And I want to ask about all of that. The last like cult documentary I watched was that TikTok dance cult. Did you watch that one?
I didn't watch it. I usually don't watch them, but
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. In conclusion, I'd fuck that motherfucker up so quick. He would be in a trunk. So just message to you, boy. I mean, he wouldn't be coming for me anyway. I can't dance, but
me either.
But all right, so I guess to start from the beginning.
Yeah. So
what was the preaching of the cult, I guess?
So I don't know if you heard about like Paris Hilton basically talking about the cult she was in, but it was similar to what she shared. Like I was young. I was only 15.
Okay.
I was there from when I was like 15 to 17.
So you were 15, so your parents let you go.
Yeah. So my parents sent me there thinking that it was something different than what it really was.
Was it a program?
It was supposed to be like a program. So basically, if you watch the Netflix documentary, The Program, it's literally what I went through. But basically, like a woman and a man came into my house. They were like, we can do this the hard way or the easy way. Da, 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 da. They put me in the car. They drove me up to these mountains. I get there.
Hold on. So you're 15 years old.
Yes.
The program is, are you misbehaving?
So at this point, this is a whole thing. But basically, I grew up in like a hostile environment. My mother, who is Iranian, she married my dad, he's black. And like I have a sister, I have 5 sisters, but the sister I have with her, my mom, she's tall, she's skinny. I was always like curvy growing up. Like even when I was young, I was tiny, but I had a big butt. And for my mom, she hated that. Like it didn't meet her societal expectation on what she wanted her family to look like. So she would have family photo shoots without me. She just hated me basically. And I think it was just her own self-projection or whatever she went through. So when it's okay. When I got to an age, I just couldn't take it anymore. So I started running away. Mind you, come from my parents, are pretty wealthy, but I decided to run from their house and I was living in a stairwell of an apartment building. I lived in the park, I went through a lot, raped, all this stuff. So my dad was like, come home. Your mom's going to get help. We want you back at the house. So I'm like, all right, I come home. The next morning I wake up, the people are in the house. The 2 people, they take me. I go up to this mountain. It's like trailers. So I'm like, this is crazy. And I get there and, basically they tell me like the minimum amount of time you can be here is like 15 months. So I'm thinking like that traumatized me. I was like, what?
But are you going to do school there?
We didn't do school. So literally, and I think with my parents, it was more say like, so, and I know why, like they recruited people, right? So like parents would come and visit and they would make the girls who were brainwashed talk to the parents and make them seem like, a lot of people were brainwashed. So most counselors that worked there were students that came back to counsel, which one of the famous stories is a woman who worked there, who was a counselor. She went there, she got pregnant and she killed her baby on site while we were there. She's in jail for life. So like she put her baby in like, and a part of her killing the baby, it's horrible, but like she was scared to say she had a baby because it was very religious, like you can't have a baby, sex out of wedlock, all these things. So it was an older couple who owned the, this cult, and they think they're still going. They keep changing the name of it and like going different places type of thing. So basically we worshiped them.
The couple.
Yeah. They were
old.
So
this wasn't Jesus based.
No, it was them. They were Jesus and God. We worshiped them, everything they did. We had to pray to them. We had to do this, obviously.
So when you got there, they say that you're there for 15 months. This isn't something you wanted to do.
No.
Your parents are sending you.
Yeah.
You're saying you're a traumatized teen.
Yeah.
You've gone through the stuff being on the street. you've been raped, you're already
Yeah.
traumatized, and they tell you have to be there for 15 months.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be there.
No.
So at what point do you start accepting?
Okay, so that you're there.
Well, just accepting what
Yeah.
they're saying, because
Yeah,
if you're not, what the people who willingly
Yeah.
get into these things are I cannot, I
Yeah.
don't,
I can't
like, in the same
fathom.
way that
Yeah.
I don't understand a MAGA person,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that part I don't understand. But the people who are you were forced into this
I
situation.
was,
So
yeah.
at what point did you submit? I guess.
So this is me. So I have a mind of a runaway because I was a runaway for so long. And my biggest thing is they make it so you can run. You can run if you want to run, but you're in the mountains, mountain lions and all type of stuff. And like people who run always get caught. They don't get anywhere. So they do it like, you can run, you can go. And I decided like, okay, I can't run because I've seen these girls run. And I'm like, the only thing I can do is I can manipulate them and make them think that I want to be here and just go along with the program, because it's a minimum of 15 months you can be there. But little girls were there for years, like 3, 4, 5 years, literally. And some girls turned 18 there and they decided to stay and become like they were so brainwashed into this program.
Were a lot of was it all girls?
It was all girls.
And so he was the only man.
He was the only man.
Were a lot of the girls there in similar states to you, like their parents sent them there, or they came there because they had nowhere to go?
Yeah, most of them, some of them, but we couldn't talk really. So like we couldn't talk for, like when you're first there, the first like 3, 4 months, you don't talk at all. Except like worship, doing the prayer stuff or whatever. And then like obviously with him and her, you can talk to them or whatever they wanted to do with you or whatever. But you don't talk to the other girls because they don't want you to talk to other girls so you guys can try to run or get ideas to like leave and go together. Yeah. So once you're there for a few months, you're on a system. Everyone has like a letter that they're on. It goes from letter A to L3. You graduate on L3. And you get points by like doing good things and and doing what they wanted you to do and all of this stuff. And you would move up and move up, move up. Then girls would run and they would come back and they're back on A, or they would go.
Do you get certain privileges if you're on a different letter?
You get to talk more. So like you get to talk for 30 minutes a day to the other girls, but you can't talk about your life at home, any friends you had, any secular music, any like celebrities, anything. You can only talk about like just present moment, whatever stuff. But you can't even talk about like, there's so many restrictions on what you could say. So it's like, you barely can say anything. They have you on a strict program, you're like cooking for them and you're doing all the stuff. And then the crazy part about it is I left. So my boyfriend that I had when I was young and everyone who I knew, all my friends, thought I died. So I lived in a world where people thought I was dead. They had a memorial for me. They thought I was dead, literally. So when I came back, finally, people literally thought they saw a ghost. Like my best friend, who's still my best friend, he saw me and literally almost fainted. He thought like he could not believe it. And
what did your parents tell them when people asked
nothing.
them?
So my parents were one of those people that like, don't come to our house, like don't talk to us. We're not telling you anything.
But nobody like caught them at Ralph's?
Yeah, like one of my, like they would like ignore. Like one of the best friend guy that I was telling, he would go to my parents' house. He had a whole theory that he thought my parents murdered me. He was like, I thought they killed you, seriously.
Girl.
So yeah, I was there. And I remember when I got to the level where I was supposed to graduate, they didn't move me up. And I had the points and everything. And they were like,
but at that point, were you still like locked in on manipulating them, or you had just like submitted to this as your life?
I was very locked in on manipulation.
So you never really converted.
I never converted. I always was like, these motherfuckers are crazy.
And your parents did they check on you?
You can't talk to anybody.
But did they come to check on you?
No.
So your parents dropped you at this in the woods.
I think you got a phone call with your parents when they felt like you wouldn't say anything and they would monitor you. Even when you went to like once in a while, like maybe if you did like something good, they'll give you a call. And then like even when we went to the bathroom, the door is open. Someone stands in front of the bathroom. You know, just crazy stuff. Like, I mean, it was crazy. I'm allergic to fish. They forced me to eat fish. I was in the hospital. They didn't let me tell the doctor that I was allergic to fish. Because if you get caught lying, they said I was lying. And then you have to do like, they put you somewhere. It's a whole thing. It was a lot. And I feel like there was a lot of those girls that are now like home, I'll see them on Facebook. Like they have a surviving the program like group and like whatever, and I'll see them and they're just so fucked up. Like they're so
I mean, what
up.
you're saying is, and like I suffer from this as well when I talk about traumatic stuff. You're saying it so matter of factly.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, compartmentalizing is an incredible skill.
Yeah.
For survival.
Yeah.
It's not really so good for your spirit, but yeah, like you seem like a very high level compartmentalizer.
I am.
When you're but do you feel like triggered when you talk about this?
No, I mean, there's certain parts of it that's like, but I don't really feel that triggered. I mean, I haven't spoke about it a lot, you know. This is probably the most in-depth I've spoken about it, but it doesn't really trigger me deeply. It's almost like, again, I disassociate. So it's like, okay, It happened, but did it? Yeah, I know it did, but it was a large part of like my teenage years, you know, like I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to school dances. I didn't go to high school like that at all, you know? So this was my experience. This is what I went through. And yeah, it was a lot. And like I said, those girls now, when I look at them, I feel like, wow, I'm happy that I'm so strong-minded because they are like so messed up. Even the lady who's in jail for life for killing her baby, she's like, I love jail. We braid each other's hair. I like, everyone loves me, like in her interviews and stuff. And it's like, what? Like, it's insane.
Were they held accountable at all for
No.
the baby's death?
No.
So at what point did you escape, leave?
So what happens is you get to go on a home visit, like once you're about to graduate. So I went home. You have all these rules though. You can't talk to anyone. You can't do this. You can't do that. So I went home and my parents, they just are one of those people that throw money at stuff. So they didn't know like the rules of the thing. They didn't really care. They just like, I went home. And I remember going on AIM and I like hit up my boyfriend that I had before I left. And I was like, hey, Jerron, like this is Azar. Da, 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 da. And he was like, yo, stop playing. Like, I know she's dead. Stop harassing me. Like all of this. And I'm like, no, this is really me. And he's like, what's the last thing we did? And da, da, da. And I told him, and he was like, no fucking way. And I'm like, this is where I'm at. Meet me, because I'm at my parents. They own businesses. So I'm one of their offices. My dad's working and stuff. So I'm like sneaking on the computer and I'm like, this is where I'm at downtown. Meet me at 7-Eleven, like in 30 minutes. And he's like, I'll be there. I go, I meet him at 7-Eleven in 30 minutes. I'm like telling him everything. He's like, oh my God, this is crazy. So he's like, we got to get you out of this situation. Like, you can live with me. He just happened to be like doing well. He was older than me, like whatever. So he was like, come live with me. Da, 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 da. I left.
And you were 17.
I was 17, but I was going to be 18 in like a few months. So I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to go. I went with him, ended up being with him. That ended up being another abusive situation. He bought me my first car, took care of me, bought me a house, everything, but he was physically abusive. So I had to escape him too. That took me years. But I ended up escaping him finally. But yeah, that's how I got out of that situation.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's hard.
That's a lot though.
Yeah, it was a lot. I will say it was a lot.
Have you talked about it with like a therapist and all that? Yeah.
For sure. I've talked about it in therapy. I've tried to like tell my parents like, hey, there's a documentary called The Program. You should check it out and see what I had to go through when I was 15. And they just ignore it. Like, I don't think they want to accept it or anything. So like
How did they find your parents?
I don't even know. I have no idea how they found my parents. I really don't know. But what I do know is, so parents would come up there to visit to see like, should I send my kid here? and they would have the girls that were the most brainwashed talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be like, we love it here and we do all of this. They never had me talk to a parent one time. So as much as I felt like I manipulated them, I still felt like they kind of were like, I don't know. But yeah, they never had me talk to parents, but I would hear them like, oh, it's wonderful and da 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 da. And then a girl would come. And when the girl would come in, you would just see her like traumatized. You would just see so many young girls come in there just like traumatized, you know? And a lot of them were struggling. They could not do it. They could not do it. They just kept running away or whatever, going crazy, and they just stayed there for years. And then they would like brainwash a lot of these girls, and they would be like completely sold to the program.